It's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's the Caz and Daz show. I'm Daz. Ooh. This is Caz. Caz, how you doing?
I'm good. Very excited to talk some basketball. It feels like it's been a long time, even though we had a quick little interlude of a show on Sunday, I think it was.
It was absolutely not quick. I promised Bethan it was going to be quick, and it wasn't too quick, but it was well worth watching with our good, close personal friend, Sky Show Chai. I think I've said that correctly. Yeah. There we go. Which was awesome. I absolutely loved talking jerseys. Oh, speaking of jerseys, let me just...
What's that you're wearing there, Darren? Is that Wilson new Rebel version Aces jersey?
It absolutely blooming is my first bit of WNBA merch. First bit of merch from the WNBA we've been able to get over here, or I've been able to get it at least. And good job, Nike store in the UK. Delivery was real quick and easy and free delivery. Should bloody hope so for the price that these jerseys cost. It's kind of astronomical, but there we are. But yes, it looks beautiful. Resplendent. I'm not even an Aces fan. I'm a fan of the sport. I'm a fan of the league. Yeah, I'm not Kazzy B. I'm not all 12, but I'm a fan of the league. Now you're thinking to yourself, talk about the WNBA so soon? Hold up, no, because we have a very special guest. You know them. You've seen them before. You love them. They'll be on later, hopefully with a bit of draft knowledge. No, we're going to start closer to home. We're going to kick off with Team of the Week. Shall we just dive into it? Team of the Week.
Yeah,
let's do it. Team of the Week. Leah Parcell. Yes, Daz. Love it. Can't wait to get my orange hoodie. Oh, you're going to look so fancy. I am very excited for you and your hoodie. WNBL Division 1. The Team of the Week brought to you by NBL and FocusHoops. So, what do we have here? Well, we've got Player of the Week, Harriet Wellham. Now, we are not driven purely by efficiency here at FocusHoops. We look at a range of factors. So sometimes Player of the Week may not have the highest efficiency. This wasn't one of those weeks. Oh, Lord, no. Harriet Wellham put on her show 41 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 49 efficiency. She played a very obviously high-scoring game. But she played it really efficiently. Very few turnovers. Fouled 12 times. 12 times she was fouled. That's absurd. What was her shooting from the line? It was something ridiculous. 15 of 18 attempts from the free throw line. I love that. 7 steals. I love that. A super solid performance. She hit 4 of 9 from beyond the arc as well. Her three-point shooting has not been one of her strengths this season, but on Sunday in Cardiff, it absolutely was. So super impressive performance. Harriet Wellham, absolute consensus Player of the Week.
What were
there can be no argument.
Or her stocks?
Oh, her stocks were, I think it was, 7 steals? I think she got 7 steals and a block. Yes, she did. So 8 stocks. 8 stocks, nearly a triple-double in stocks. This isn't a Darren Paul invention. This is a Bill Simmons invention, stolen by me. Team of the Week. So lots of basketball this weekend. Lots of games to pick from. We had Candela Hermina Nunez, 18.7 rebounds, 5 assists, a 22 efficiency in a game against back in Abbey London Lions 2. And it got a bit chatty afterwards. Got a little bit spicy. Both sides on the old social media, sending it back and forth. Interesting to see. They play again this weekend, I believe. Maddie Burdett from Nottingham Trent University. Now, last week, Shakina Bimpa of Nottingham Trent University. This week, Maddie Burdett. They platoon the position. That means that they essentially take turns in being the import American to play for Nottingham Trent. And holy boats, did they both turn out the last couple of weeks. Burdett was outrageous. Shot the lights out. in their 81-69 victory over Barking Abbey London Lions. Bad weekend for them. We'll talk about that. Those implications in just a moment. She had 27 points, 7 of 11 from 3 in 30 minutes worth of action. 7 rebounds as well and 2 blocks. So really impressive performance from Wnba Draft. The other performers were both from the Worcester Wolves. Now, it was in their overtime victory over Cardiff Met Archers 2 on Saturday afternoon. And first off, let's start with Carolina Marquez because she got them to overtime. She hit that clutch shot right at the death, a couple of seconds before the buzzer. 29 points in the game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, a 28 efficiency. The numbers are beautiful. 43 minutes played, 54% from the field, did most of her work inside. Awesome. They are fighting hard for a playoff spot. Worcester, this win will go a long way to helping that because they've been on a real slide of late. It wasn't Marquez who was the point scorer in overtime. That was Wnba Bautista. She hit. Now, this was a weekend of Spaniards hitting clutch free throws. More on that later. But the first one, the trend setter, the trailblazer, Wnba Bautista, finished with 22, 8 and 4, a 26 efficiency. But she did the business from the line. Did the business from the line late in the game, hitting the free throws. That clinched it for Worcester in a really entertaining, really competitive game. Well worth your time to go and look back over, especially the last quarter 4 plus the overtime. Really, really impressive. She also had 2 steals, did a little bit of everything, a real captain's performance. A couple of honourable mentions. We had Caris Roy of Cardiff and Isabel Bunyan, also of Cardiff, from that absolute storming game. Izzy Mamadou from Cola had a casual 10 points, 16 rebounds. Gael Comensana, 18 points, 11 rebounds. Sitota Jimenez Espinoza, 17 points, 10 rebounds. So some really super duper performances in the WNBL Division 1. Cassie B.
There was, I agree.
Thanks, Kaz. That was your Cassie B minute. Let's do it. Let's do it the way we like to do things here at Focus Hoops. Give me just a second. Boom. Wait. Boom. High quality graphics. Hopefully that shows up okay for you. So how does the table look after this weekend? Well, Ipswich 12-2. And they are looking even better for championship glory. Why? Loughborough Riders women lost 9-4. Their record is now. They lost on the road to a tough Reading Rockets outfit. Reading Rockets improved to 7-7. They had a perfect weekend, winning both their games. Huge, huge loss in the context of the league. I think this might be the end of the road for Loughborough. That is me. In terms of winning the league. They're not mathematically out, but it is seriously unlikely. I didn't see Ipswich dropping 2 more games this season. I could see them dropping 1. I don't know if I could see them dropping 2. But who knows? They're not out of it. And if they're able to push hard and win out the rest of the way, that would involve beating Ipswich, and they need Kohler to do them a favour. But Kohler also to not do them too much of a favour, because right now, the team in the driving seat in the championship is Ipswich, followed by Kohler. Though Kohler have a really busy schedule. They've got to play Loughborough and Ipswich again. So all to play for at the top of the WNBL. Loughborough needs to go perfect. Another loss, and they are properly done. Not just Darren thinks they're probably done. Kohler, they are walking a tightrope. They can't afford any losses. They've got to go perfect the rest of the way, because I don't see Ipswich losing 2 or more games. I could be wrong. Willing to be wrong. You know, I'm somebody who does. I don't. What's it called? Revel in ignorance, but I don't mind being wrong and being shown to be corrected. But hey ho, who do you think is going to win the WNBL Division 1 regular season. Let us know in the comments. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Ipswich, Loughborough, Cola? I don't think we can see Team Sonic Kestrels win it. They would need somewhat of a minor miracle. No disrespect. But 8-5, that is a long way to come back from, especially with Ipswich looking pretty tremendous and almost playing their allotment of games. Let me know in the comments down below.
Have we got a playoff format? Yeah, dates for the playoffs.
We do, and I believe they're official. Basically, the regular season ends on May 9th, and it'll be the weekends preceding that. It'll be, as I understand it, normal format. So 8 plays 1 at 1. And then semi-final will be higher seed home. And then final will be, not too sure where the final is or the details around the final, but it will probably be central venue, as you'd expect. Maybe Manchester. Who knows? I don't know. Or at least I don't remember. Okay, so that's WNBL news in that regard with the league title picture. That for me, that was the game, the huge game of the weekend. Obviously, Reading beating Loughborough 70-64. The other big game, Cardiff Met losing out to Worcester Wolves 76-78 in overtime. That's well worth a look. Down at the bottom of the table, whoa. Excuse me, I got ahead of myself. Let's look at the playoff race. Worcester improved their record to 5-7. They have needed a win. And I think it is safe to say they've all but guaranteed themselves a place in the postseason. It's just a matter of how good that place is. Barking Abbey, after a nice 3-game winning streak, they lost both times this weekend. That is tough for them. They've got a 3-10 record. That means that Thames Valley, 2-game in hand. It's looking interesting. Cardiff Archers, Amber Dean is missing for them. It was going to be a long way back, but I think we can probably say Cardiff aren't making postseason, and that's a shame because they're a fun team. Some great talent for the future on that roster. Really exciting to see. I mean, we can say that for literally every team in the league, but still, I'm excited for the future of Welsh basketball. Cardiff Met holding it down. So yes, Kazi B, did anything stand out to you this weekend in the old WNBL?
I mean, I think like you said, we had the eyes on the Loughborough game after you were picking it up last week for us, because like you say, that was going to be the one that kind of pushed the title race a bit closer. But let's see what happens. The impressive thing for me in regards to Ipswich is they went out next day and they blew apart Cardiff 108-58. I mean, Cardiff just off an overtime loss, which is going to be huge physical and emotional effort and all that. They had a couple of players doing double duty this weekend, playing WBBL and WNBL, I believe. But a really professional performance from Ipswich, just getting it done and making no mistakes. So, it's a 50-point blowout. Is that necessary? Well, I don't know. But did it ensure that they weren't slipping up or making any mistakes? Yes. Does that show a level of respect to Cardiff? I say yes, actually, because they've played them hard. I agree, yeah.
And I think that's a more respectful thing than taking them lightly. Wellham, 41 points. Rafiu, who we haven't seen a lot of this year, but at times she's had really impressive performances. I think back to that Loughborough game where she was Ipswich's best player for me. She had 14 points, so good to see her amongst the points. This weekend's games, let's take a little goosey gander at what we've got. Ipswich Wolves in Ipswich on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Thames Valley Cavaliers, Loughborough Riders Women. So nice opportunity for Loughborough to bounce back there. Cola versus Cardiff. You'd expect Cola to keep on their winning streak there. That is in London. Barking Abbey, London Lions take on the Reading Rockets in Barking Abbey. Again, that got a little bit spicy. And both Barking Abbey, the WBBL and WNBA teams, a little bit chippy.
So, or they've been involved in chippy games, shall we say? That's more fair. So interesting to see how that goes. That's also at 1 o'clock. And the 3:15 tip-off, that traditional basketball time. Nottingham Trent University taking on Team Silent Kestrels. I'm excited for that game. That might be my game of the day. Interesting to see how Nottingham Trent go. They had a really nice performance this weekend, as did Team Silent Kestrels, to be fair. So I think that's probably my game to watch out for, other than the Barking Abbey London Lions Reading Rockets game, because that could be spice. We have 2 games on Sunday as well. 2 o'clock, we've got Nottingham Trent taking on Thames Valley Cavaliers, important game. And Barking Abbey London Lions taking on the Cola Selleck Pride. That is also at Barking Abbey. Obviously, a local derby, 2 predominantly academy teams. Could that be the banana peel? Who's to say?
I'll say yes.
Oh!
You know how I like to just make outlandish claims.
Caz, you just like throwing it out there. Cazzy Spice. Will Cola slip up this weekend? Let us know in the comments section down below. I think that's it for the WNBL roundup for this week. Again, let's just show that graphic because it's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I was so tempted to just send in his stat line and that be it for the write-up. But then I thought, no. I mean, it'll pop me. I'd find it not like amusing, but just be like, what more need I say? But hey ho. All right, Kazzy B. We move over to what I see as a bit more your area of expertise, the Women's British Basketball League roundup. Kazzy B.
Yes. So I'm working backwards here. I'm going to start with yesterday's games. So we have had quite a few games this week, and yesterday we saw London fall to Leicester.
Yes.
Which was a surprise. I haven't actually been able to watch this one as I was at the Mystics game, but I do want to watch it back. So London, Leicester and Sevenoaks last week were the top teams, weren't they? Leicester with 1 loss, Sevenoaks with 0 losses, and London were on those 2 losses to Sevenoaks. That's now the gap between 4th and 3rd is too far for anyone to catch. Even if people win out, lose out, it's not possible. So you've got the top 3 teams, and it looks like if Leicester are going to carry on this run, are they going to be the team that takes down Sevenoaks? Are Sevenoaks doing it? Are they going completely unbeaten for the rest of the season? We can find out on Saturday Wednesday, when Leicester play Sevenoaks. And this would have been my game of the week. And do you know why it's not? Because it's on at 2:30 on a Wednesday afternoon.
You're joking. The biggest game in... I need a bit of downtime for this. The biggest game in the recent history of the Women's British Basketball League is at 2:30 on a Wednesday. Okay.
I won't be watching that live. I will be on a conference call.
I won't be watching that live. I'll be in my day job. And then I won't be able to watch that until probably Thursday evening. No, I can't because we're doing this. Crumbs. I'll try and watch it on the train back after commentating London Lions, Leicester Riders in the men's BBL.
Maybe we can just make people watch it with us. Maybe we'll just play it over.
Hey guys, we'll just contact the WBBL. Do you mind if we watch this live, like replay?
That'll be fine.
I mean, if the league allow it, sounds like fun. So let's have a look at the.
I get that we have to do it, but because of the schedule, it's just rubbish. It's rubbish.
But with the country's back open, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was probably arranged when it wasn't. So
fair. So Sevenoaks Suns 15-0 as they continue their WNBA schedule.
They're playing
the Riders 15
games.
They've basically got their entire calendar into a 2-month stretch, essentially, which is pretty wild. London Lions, after that loss, dropped to a 14-3, a very, very tall order for them to get back into the title picture. Not impossible, but it's going to ask quite a lot. They cannot afford any more slip-ups, and it might already be too much for them. Now, Sevenoaks, if they split with Leicester and win the rest of their games, they win the league. It's that simple.
Yeah, because they have the head-to-head over Leicester.
It wouldn't even matter because Leicester would be on 2 losses and Seven Oaks be on 1.
Yeah.
Because remember, who beat Leicester? It was Essex.
It was.
The Essex Rebels, who are secured in 4th place. They are officially the next team qualified to the playoffs as they were awarded a 20-0 win over the Caledonia Pride, who are unable to travel, I believe, is the situation there.
They had to postpone and they couldn't rearrange the game because they have to do it by the end of the month. So, and there's not enough days.
And there are our results from the last couple of days of action. Wildcats took down Wolves 68-47. Manchester Mystics fell to the Seven Oaks Suns 59-76. Cassie B, why don't you tell us about that game? I believe you were in attendance.
I could tell you about that, but I could also tell you about the one against Essex on Saturday.
Which would be more fun for you?
Well, actually, so I think the Essex game was more a surprising result. I would imagine a lot of people thought Seven Oaks were probably going to win last night, although just Manchester obviously, but they're absolutely. I think people may have expected. So for the first 3 quarters, it was very close, and Manchester was still in it. Seven Oaks were making quite a lot of mistakes, but Manchester just weren't able to capitalise on them because Seven Oaks is such a team that plays so perfectly that if you're going to win, you've got to benefit from their mistakes. If they're getting turnovers, you've got to get on the fast break and get going out. But Manchester just weren't able to finish on some of those, and it just kind of got away from them in the 4th. But Seven Oaks, they just look like a freight train just running around over everyone. But it's good to see them. Good to see them play in person. But the game on Saturday against Essex, so Manchester came out on top there, 90-75. Manchester won the last game when they were back down in Essex when Georgia Jones had a career high of 35 points. Sophia Song had a season high in the championship of 17. And those two just carried that on in this game on Saturday. So Sophia Song made 5 straight threes in the first half. Georgia Jones had 18 points in the second, just because. And it was a really strong performance from the Mystics. Everybody was just clicking. They were working together. I think they made 15 threes as a team for the game. I haven't been able to check, but that sounds like it's going to be a high for the season. But speaking to the players after the game, players like Rianne, she said, they've been good at playing 30 minutes, maybe 35 minutes, but they've not always put together a full 40. And that's what Manchester did on Saturday. And that's kind of the team that, at the start of the season, we're super excited to see everyone together. And they've maybe not kind of clicked as we thought they would. They've had some breaks and things. And that game on Saturday was just, it was a great game as well. That again, for 3 quarters, super close. So it'd be a good one to go back and watch. Just the 4th Manchester were able to pull away. And Sophia Song, our guest last week, who we had a great interview with, her and Georgia Jones had 44 points and 21 rebounds between them. That was it was a good performance.
If you go into the comments section down below, hopefully you will see a link there to vote in the Manchester Mystics end of season awards. There's a Google form. Oh yes, Google form. So do check that out. Now, when you sent that to me the other day, Caz, I was like, I need numbers, I need stats. I can't go off the heart on this one. Georgia Jones. Now this is, and I said this to you, and I can go and get like the basketball card or the jersey of who I'm about to mention because my favorite player. Male player, I think, of all time. She is the Paul Pierce of this team. Now, before people will be like, with your memes, right? Check this out. You look at his stats in Boston. He was the stats leader for every category, pretty much, throughout the 2000s until KG arrived. She is just so dominant. It's absurd. The best. Unreal. Outrageous. Undisputed. My God, what a player. Sorry, I know this is like known to everybody, but I haven't looked at the numbers super close.
Is it? Do people know this? This is my thing. Do
Well,
people
they should. They need to know that this is it turns out, Georgia Jones is actually incredible. We should have got a graphic, but it turns out Georgia Jones is actually ridiculous, and her numbers are truly outrageous in the context of this ball club. Ridiculous.
And she's a great player. She's a fantastic player. This season, she's having one of her best seasons. So she's only getting better. Like, it's ridiculous that her 3-point shooting this season was the highest it's ever been. That she was hit, like, I think second only to her 17.8 point season when they won the cup, the trophy, the cup. And when we can get back in venues, people need to get down to the National Basketball Performance Centre and watch her in person, because it is something else. It is like on Saturday afternoon, second half, she's just like, I don't think I want to lose this game. I'm going to score 18 points.
I like that.
Let's just do it. It's super impressive. It's super impressive.
So when we're back in gyms, let's everybody just bus on down to the National Performance Centre in Manchester. Hassle the Manchester Met Mystics social media to sell jerseys or give jerseys away or whatever you need to do. Jerseys, come on. Like, look, this theoretically came from America. We're not asking for much. We're asking for something from Manchester. Why
can't we have WBBL merch? Why?
Yeah. Why can't we have WNBL? But WBBL, no excuses. There you go. Any more on your WBBL roundup?
So I have a game of the week for this weekend. Yeah, not Wednesday. It would be Wednesday, but sorry, not happy about the time. If I can't watch it, it's not the game of the week. So this week's game to watch is the Essex Rebels and the Leicester Riders, Saturday at 12:30, which is a fine time on a Saturday, not in a week. We've got D'Angelique Waith taking on Holly Winterburn. And this is my pick for game of the week because, as we said earlier, Essex were the only team to have beaten Leicester this season. So their one loss come into Essex. So I don't think Leicester are going to be happy about that. They're going to want to avenge that. There we go. Found it.
I think you're right. I dare say you might be correct. Imagine if Essex win, though. Essex
have been on a little bit of a slide at the moment.
Bit wobbly at the moment.
Yeah, they're. I think it was the loss to Manchester was their 5th in a row. So that maybe Leicester have got their new players together at the right time, and maybe Essex are sort of going in the opposite direction a little bit. But who knows?
Who knows indeed? Is there any more for anybody in the WBBL?
So we had one other game, but you can't watch it back. It was, I don't believe, so Newcastle and Oakland's. Newcastle came away with a 91-89 win. It's on the Newcastle Eagles website. There's a streaming service that you can pay for and do because it's a great product. But I just don't think you can't watch it back on YouTube, as far as I know. Came down to like the last seconds of the game. Oakland's had a shot to either tie or win. Didn't go off, but again, Alison Garrell just phenomenal in that game. Newcastle down, I think. It was while we were recording on Sunday, so I think they were down about 8 or 10 points going into the half, and they just pulled it back and managed to come out with the win there, which is really really good for them in that playoff race that they're in. We said before that Newcastle had to come out of this run of games with more wins than losses, and it's good to see, especially after they had quite a difficult start to the season with injuries and some players leaving. And it's good to see because they've got a great roster. And Alison Garrell set about 50,000 records on Saturday and Sunday for Newcastle records. I don't have a list of them, sorry. It was everything. Any record you can think of, Alison Carell's got it.
Just name it and did it. Don't worry about it.
So if you can watch it back, watch it back.
There you go. I've just double checked. It's not on the WBBL YouTube, which is a shame, but good product that they sell, stream.
Yeah, I mean it's worth paying for it. I don't know if you can. I wonder if you can watch it back after. I don't know if they have that. I don't know if you can buy it today to watch last week's game.
If they don't, I'd be pretty annoyed. I'll be honest with you. Speaking of buying products, WNBA League Pass. I know I'm not jumping into the WNBA chat too early, but I'm just saying League Pass. It's what, 15 quid?
It's ridiculously cheap.
So good value. Like, with respect to the BBL, and again, literally an organization I work within, BBL commentator, but that's 20 quid a month.
It's nothing.
WNBA League Pass is 15 quid for an entire season of some of the best women's basketball you'll see. I'm not going to say the best, but I'm going to say some of the best that you're going to see. But they do play basically FIBA rules, so I'm happy with that.
I want them to charge me more. Like, I'm not happy that it's so cheap.
I see what you're saying. I know, yeah, I get that.
I also think it's a lost opportunity for revenue. Like, you could easily charge, even if you doubled it and said it was £30 for a season.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a lot.
No, it's not. It's not a lot at all. I think, I don't know if the idea is like it's cheap so that there's like no barrier to entry, essentially. Just like get it and watch it and enjoy it. I assume that's where they're coming from. And if that's the thinking, the idea, I'm okay with that. I like that. They're on national TV at times as well. Yeah, we'll get on to it. There's time and place. Caz, is there any more that we have to talk about from these British Isles?
I feel like I missed a game, but I am looking through and I feel like maybe it was earlier in the week last week and I already talked about it last week. It might have been a Wednesday. Oh, yeah, I think it was the Wednesday Nottingham Manchester game.
Right. I think we're going to take a very early trip to Caz's Corner.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Let's do that.
Welcome to Caz's Corner. Caz, we're in your corner.
Now, are we going to combine Caz's Corner with some EuroLeague Eurocup or?
We are going to, yes, that is why I came to Caz's Corner.
Okay. Well, before we do that,
Ooh.
Let me just take you to Russia, where we have Ekaterinburg and Dynamo Kursk in the final, to the surprise of nobody at all. And that is on the 21st, and I can't see any other dates for this. Is this a one-off?
No. I don't think so.
It would seem odd if it is.
I think the Eurobasket website is just a bit clunk.
Okay, that's fine.
But I haven't been onto the Russian Federation basketball website, which I usually do to go and check. So don't quote me on that.
Okay. Well, first game is on the 21st of April, so jump on board with that. Ekaterinburg beat Nika 95-49 and 95-72. And I thought, that's odd. You don't usually see teams score the same amount of points 2 games running.
Yeah. As I'm writing the now coming out on a Friday morning edition of the newsletter, don't get at me. It's been a ridiculous week and it remains a ridiculous week. That stood out to me. First game competitive, it seems relatively. Second game, Nika they were just dead.
Yeah.
And they just got obliterated. What was the final? 95, 48?
49, yeah.
49. Like, that is one-way traffic. A sweep. Nika did well getting there. They upset Nadezhda in the previous round 2-1, I believe. I want to say it was 2-1 because it was a 3-game set. So, yeah, good. I mean, good job making it to the semi-finals. Better luck next year of not coming up against Ekaterinburg in the round of 4.
The thing is, you're going to come up against them at some point. So why even try?
That's kind of not how it works.
On the other side, we have Dynamo Kursk, and they beat Wnba 84-69 and 106-81.
Kursk, you know?
obviously didn't have the best EuroLeague campaign, but they've had a very good domestic season. And
I thought when I saw them in EuroLeague, I was not impressed. I was not impressed by any of what I saw.
Let me give them an excuse. They lost WNBL. And is that not a good enough excuse?
I mean, no.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe
there was a lot of strangeness with that.
She left. I think it was just before EuroLeague, or maybe like a game or something. So I feel like they had to make an adjustment really quickly that didn't work. But they have had long enough after that to get used to it. I guess if they wanted one.
Let's. Was there any other European leagues that we need to talk about? Spain, nothing really happened. They've confirmed their playoff structure. Read about it in the newsletter if it ever arrives.
Turkey's waiting a little bit, so we're on pause. Except, do you want my stat line of the week? Shall
we? We can when our mystery guest, it's Mikey, comes in later. We'll see what he goes for. So yeah, stat line of the week.
Hey, he might disagree with some of them. So,
I see a Kosovan flag,
but it's not. It's not Sarah.
No, it's not.
It's not. She's been knocked out.
Whoa!
She's been knocked out of it by Aisha Balarabi, who had. This is a frankly ridiculous stat line, and I saw this, and then it ruined me finding the others for the week because I couldn't.
For 95%.
44 points, and you're like, yeah, that's really good. That's like awesome, isn't it? 24 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds, 7 assists, and she shot 19 of 20 from the field. 19 of 20. And she shot 6 of 8 from the free throw line. So she missed 3 baskets the entire game. And then she just ruined my day because I thought, well, how do I find something to say? Well, what's slightly as good as this? I was going to leave her off. And that was in a win in the semi-finals against Velesnimi. So that was against Sarah McBakey and Raven Northcross Baker. And they are now into the final. She had an index of 69.
That's absurd.
So, well done, Aisha. Then Hannah Little, 15 points, 17 rebounds, 11 offensive, 1 assist and 1 steal, playing in Finland for the Espoo team. This was in a loss to Honka, a 74-62 loss. And I think, I don't know if I'm right with this, Maria Keslevic, 23 points, 14 assists, 6 rebounds and 5 steals in a 90-65 loss to Banovici in Romania. She's 19. I thought,
and that's a really healthy stat line.
It is, isn't it? And they're very impressive, but they're just like Aisha's ruined it for everyone.
She's crushed it. Though Hannah Little, more offensive than defensive rebounds. You're my star of the week. You're not my star of the week. You're like my 3rd star of the week. But Aisha Balarabi, my God, that is just preposterous. Just do me a favor, send that over to Sophia Song and just see what she makes of it. It's absurd.
Even if you stood under the basket, I guess I was going to say, well, I guess you missed 1, but she did. So she missed 1 of 20 shots. So.
Mate, most normal humans would miss more than that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's literally better than 9 out of 10.
Yes.
That's absurd.
So Aisha, I feel like there's no competition for her this week.
What is that? No, yeah, awesome. Do you agree with our stat line of the week? Let us know in the comments below.
And some people might say, well, maybe she's scoring a lot. Maybe the league's not so tough. And maybe I can't watch it. I can't tell you because I can't find a link. But let me point out that Raven Northcross Baker, Aisha, and Sarah McBakey are all having monster games in Kosovo, and they're not the only ones. So if you've got 3 people having monster games across different teams, maybe there's something there.
Maybe, dare I say.
Awesome.
In fact, someone sign her to a WBBL team, please.
Just do it. My God, look at that shooting. That's Caz. That's Caz Public shooting. That is. Shall we? Are we ready to move to the Euro Cup?
Yes.
I don't have a graphic for this. For goodness sakes. Right, let's go back to Caz's Corner. Hi. Welcome to Caz's Corner. The the Euro Cup Women's Final. Holy boats. It was the Final Four this weekend past, and it was so good. I've literally spent my week, anybody that I know that tangentially has looked at a basketball one time in their life, I'm like, go find this game. Go watch it. Go enjoy it because it's absurd. Go and watch the semi-final between KSC Skjezgrad. I probably butchered that. Apologies. And Venezia. That was a tense game, but it was good to watch. And then the Flam Carolo basket versus Valencia, other semi-final, 68-80 victory for Valencia. They were dominant, but there was some really nice basketball played by Flam in that game as well. Just a lot of ridiculousness. Just a lot of foolishness.
So set the scene for me. Who do we have playing for Valencia, and who do we have playing for Venezia?
So Valencia. So are we diving into the final? Diving on in there. Yeah. No love for Tima Pouye of Flam. She had some awesome plays. I have to talk about it, because she had like a step through jump shot from the perimeter. It was a 2, but it was just like what? I was like, I've not seen that before. She was awesome. She finished with a +14 efficiency, 16.7 rebounds in the loss. But who was the best player in that semi-final? I hear you ask. Well, Raquel Carrera Quintana, 27 efficiency, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals. She's 19 years old. She had a really good semi-final. Did she do anything in the final? We'll find out. Because first, we're going to look at the other semi-final between Ray Venezia and KSC Skjezgrad. Who plays for these teams that we know, we care about, we love? Why are you not giving me the information I need? Website. Well, I can tell you, playing for Venezia, Temi Fagbenle, GB legend. Natasha Howard, WBBL, current WBBL champion. Of course, Temi has won it at least once previously. And Yvonne Anderson, who I don't really know her background. I'm sorry to say, but heck of a baller. She's great. She was awesome this Final Four weekend. And an all tournament. Let's be fair. So they beat Skjezgrad, who have the Wnba Draft. That is their real headline name. 63-58.
Erica Bird. They've got the sister team.
They've got. Let's look.
Erica McCall. Sorry.
Yeah, they got Erica McCall. Who else? They had Saisha Guri, who looked awesome first half, and then second half just did not have it in the semi-final. And she still finished with that highest score of 13. I think if she'd have been able to go more and longer, she played 26-50 in the end. I wonder if Skjezgrad get over the line. They're not winning the final, though. I don't see that happening. But maybe if she's able to go a bit more. But also, the Wnba Draft wasn't good at all, actually. She finished with 4 and 21 shooting. I thought Temi and Howard handled her really well. It wasn't a very good performance from the Wnba Draft, I'm sorry to say. And she's a player that I really like. I really enjoyed seeing her this year in WNBA in particular. And Erica McCall, 1 of 6, 4 points. That's not getting it done. This is a crunch game. This is a huge game. They did.
Sorry, I was just going to say, against a player that will defend you like Natasha Howard will, and the absolute length of her that should be matched by Bonner. They're both pretty long, aren't they? But you need to. You can't have that percentage against them.
The defense played by Skjezgrad at times though was excellent. They had Venezia
in kittens at times. And like I say, it was a back and forth game. Could have gone either way. Yvonne Anderson top score. No, sorry, Natasha Howard top scored with 16. Yvonne Anderson had 14. Both sides shot pretty poorly, especially from three. Venezia. Sorry, this is the first time I'm properly looking at the box score. Watched the game, enjoyed the game. 3 of 16 from Venezia from three. 8 of 26 for Skarsgård. So they did enough from outside, but not enough to win the game. So that set up our final on Sunday. KC Skarsgård won the playoff game for the third place spot. Don't think anybody's surprised by that. No disrespect to Corolla Basket, but they just don't have the names. They don't have the players that these two have. They are middle of the pack team in France. I think they've played pretty much all the games. They got a 500 record, so they've done well to get here, but they were not on level of the other teams. Now, you and I had a very enjoyable Sunday evening watching the game virtually together in pretty much this format. What were your thoughts on the game?
I feel like it was a brilliant advert for women's basketball. It was so close all the way through, wasn't it? It was just back and forth. And I don't think, I was talking to Adam Masters about this the other day, I don't think anyone ever had more than a 5-point lead in the game at any point. So it was that, or if it wasn't much more, but it was so close. And it was literally just trading basket for basket. And it was so tough. The ending was wild as well. It was, do I spoil the ending for people?
Well, first off, I just want to have a bit of a moan. FIBA, live stats is your entire gimmick. Why is your website not live stats? Why is it this rubbish, watered down rubbish? Sorry. But
it doesn't update quickly, that box score doesn't update quickly.
No. So yes, go on, dive into it. What was the final?
So the final score was Valencia 82, Venezia 81. Now, so Valencia.
Shall we just skip to the final 3 seconds?
Yeah. So Venezia, were down. They were down 1, and timeout called. It was about 10 seconds left, wasn't it? 10 seconds. They get the ball, pass it around a bit. Yvonne Anderson gets it, passes off to their post player, drives. The post player makes such a nice pass back to her as she's cut into the basket that I was like, where did that ball come from? You didn't even see it came from. Yvonne Anderson gets it, puts it up, pops it in. 1.1 seconds left. They've done it. Venezia are the winners. What's going to happen now? They're up 1.1 seconds left.
And the assist was made by Gintare Petronete. I hope I said your name correctly, because you were fantastic this weekend. I think you were the best player in the semi-final for me. Again, just eye test. Numbers could prove me wrong. I'm not looking at numbers right now, but she was awesome all weekend. Continue.
She was. And that pass was brilliant. That was just fantastic. 1.1 seconds left. Timeout. People talking things over. Valencia get the ball to inbound sideline. Hoik it up almost as if they're going to an alley-oop towards the basket, where Raquel Carreras catches it as she's putting the shot up. Yvonne Anderson fouls her, and to me, she had to foul her because she was under the basket and that ball was probably going to go in. I don't think Yvonne Anderson actually meant to foul. It didn't look like she was. It wasn't an intentional foul, was it? It was just she was trying to get in the way. And then Raquel Correz, 19 years old, Euro Cup final.
Raquel Carrera Quintana.
Carrera Quintana. Ice in her veins at 19 years old, nails both free throws. You can see Beck Allen in the background, just absolutely tense watching them, and nails it on the buzzer. Time's expired. No, I think, did they have like half a second left?
A second left, yeah.
The second left, and it just I think it almost just bounced off someone's foot out of bounds as well. An amazing win, a devastating way to lose for Venezia, but very well deserved for Valencia, and just a really exciting game to watch back. Like, it's, as I say, a brilliant advert for the women's game.
Again, I'm not joking when I've said that literally everybody who will listen to me this week, I've said, go watch this game, or go and watch the final 5 minutes, or go and just watch highlights, do whatever you've got to do to get this game in your life. It was fantastic. I'm so excited for the EuroLeague women's final this weekend. If it can be half as exciting as that, you've got a lovely little bit of basketball there, Richard. Awesome.
We can get onto that, but I feel like it won't.
I tell you, and let's credit the assist, by the way, on those free throws. Carol's Casas, who did she end up winning MVP for the Final Four? They put the wrong graphic on the screen. They actually, so when they gave her the golden molten, the famous golden molten, they actually put up the graphic for Raquel Carrera Quintana, which is quite funny. For me, she was the star, or she was the star of the Valencia semi-final. Obviously, the stats bear that out, but again, eye test. And from the final, she made her impact late. She was not awesome first half. But second half, holy boats, did she turn it on? And
that's how you finish.
This is very true. How did she finish? Raquel Carrera Quintana, 13 points, 4 of 8 shooting, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Nice.
And
a lovely bit of business.
Valencia were the first Spanish team to win Eurocup as well. Making a bit of
really?
Yeah.
That surprises me. Like the biggest basketball nation in Europe. Is that too much?
No, I'd go there.
I'd go there. Them or Greece. But then you don't see Greek women's teams in the upper echelon, do you?
That's the point, yeah.
That's the point. Come on, Greece. Where's your women's teams at? Just awesome. Absolutely fantastic. Really feel for Temi, of course. Legend of the game. She had a really good game. Like nothing she could do on that final play, in my opinion. Petronite, super efficient. She finished with a 22 efficiency, 5 of 9 from the floor, 11 rebounds. Just awesome. She was great. The assist on what looked like going to be the game winner. Anderson, 26 points, 11 of 17, 3 of 4 from the line. Her three-point shooting wasn't quite there, but my God, her game, she's awesome. She's great. Would love to see her in the WNBA. I don't think she's a WNBA player. She's not been massively on my radar. That's not to say that she isn't, but I don't think she is.
She hasn't been, just looking at, she hasn't been drafted. She went undrafted. And hasn't had a contract or anything with them. Played in Turkey a lot.
Natasha Howard, also 16 points in the ball game, 4 rebounds, which feels like a kind of small number, but it was a generally low rebounding game. 28 played 30 overall, which feels pretty low to me.
It does, yeah. Especially with who is on the team.
But fantastic game. Laura Gil did not play, listed as coach's decision, but when you've got literally one of the most decorated European players ever, you'd probably play her, so I assume she's injured.
Yeah.
And just on the roster to either get a medal or in case it needs to get replayed. Fantastic game. It's on the FIBA YouTube channel. I implore you, go watch it. After this, come on, don't be silly now, but do go watch it. Bloody awesome. Oh,
I had one issue with this.
No commentary?
Yes, there's no commentary.
Should we email FIBA and be like, listen, we are Leah Parcells' favourite women's basketball experts.
Yes.
We're both commentators in the pro league of our country.
Yes.
Yes. Not to blow our own horns, but we are. I'm halfway tempted. Caz, get on the email to FIBA. Go on the old email machine.
I'll do it. Because you know what as well? The men's final has commentary. Why doesn't the women's one?
Equality, FIBA. What are you doing? Speaking of FIBA, the most FIBA-y person we know is your friend and mine,
Mike Hunter-Morris. Hello, mate. I've not seen you with your new trim. That looks very fresh. Yeah, and you're muted. That's really good.
Probably because I
There
got
he
it
is.
over about 6 hours ago. So
Oh, you did say give me 2 minutes. Yeah, I didn't do that. Sorry about that. Mikey, we were just talking about the Euro Cup Women's Final and how phenomenal it was. Did you happen to catch the game?
of course.
What did you make of it? Just what's Mikey's hot takes on it?
Yeah, it was everything everyone said it was. It was just terrific. It was a terrific game of basketball, and someone had to lose, and it's kind of unfair someone did.
Yeah,
I was rooting for an overtime, wasn't I? I wanted more of it.
we were rooting for overtime.
Really?
We really wanted another 20 minutes of that, to be honest. I was kind of shocked it didn't go to overtime, to be honest.
Oh, so you wanted quadruple overtime, not just
Yes, I did. At least.
I
Bare
would take it
minimum.
off for another week.
Yeah. Make it a best of 3.
Ooh.
I mean, is it as good as if it's a best of 3? I don't know. The one game's pretty exciting. Mikey, what were your takeaways from the Final Four weekend? Any major takeaways from you?
No. I've watched so much basketball this week. All the games have merged together, so I can't tell you anything about the semi-finals. Apart from which teams 2-1 because they were in the final.
There you go. Well, the semi-finals, they were good stuff. I am going to drop out just for a moment. So, Caz, can you run the show for us for a couple moments? Are you two happy to talk some EuroLeague?
Yeah, we can do it. So,
Right.
yeah.
I'll be back.
So, EuroLeague starts tomorrow. Final Four. We have got who have we got? We have got Fenerbahce playing Ekaterinburg at 2:00 on Friday afternoon, which is a rubbish time, much like the WBBL game. And then we have Avenida and Sopron at 7 p.m. So for me, Mikey, my pick of the games would be Fenerbahce and Ekaterinburg as the one to watch to get into the final. What do you think?
Probably not.
Do you think it's going to be a blowout?
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I just don't think it's going to be as close.
I feel like Fenerbahce could run them very close. Maybe.
I don't know. I've not looked at the matchup a lot, but you just on paper you think Ekaterinburg should win the whole thing. Therefore, their semi-final will probably be least competitive.
That's true. Yeah. And maybe not as a surprise. Yeah. I think inside is where Fenerbahce will probably struggle against Ekaterinburg. Avenida and Sopron, 7:00 is the other semi-final. And then on Sunday, we have a third place playoff at 1:00 and the final kicks off at 5. So.
No, I won't be watching that either. Oh, I'm doing well. I'm doing well for watching games then.
Oh
dear.
Are you at Sevenoaks on Sunday?
No, I've got work.
Well, oh.
Even better than being at Sevenoaks.
But we have had some EuroLeague awards, end of season awards, just before the final. So MVP. I always get her name. I'm terrible with her surname. But
where's Darren with the graphics?
Yeah. Alina Iagapova, who plays for Fenerbahce, was the MVP of EuroLeague this season. 20.6 points, 7.6 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 2 steals per game. And that is back-to-back MVPs for her.
Very well deserved.
Yeah. And I would... I mean, she can't win. Well, she may win Finals MVP. That would be the surprise, but she's probably might not be in the position to do so. But she's had a fantastic season, and she's just consistently one of the best players that we see in EuroLeague the entire time. And she made it to the All EuroLeague first team, along with Katie Lou Samuelson, Emma Miesemann, Gabby Williams, and Courtney Vandersloot, which is a pretty impressive team. Second team was Marianne Johans from Lyon, Alba Torres, Satu Sabali, Yolina Brooks from Sopron, and Brianna Stewart from Ekaterinburg. Defensive player of the year was Gabby Williams for Sopron. She has 2.3 steals a game. And that, so if you think about it, in Chicago next year, the Chicago Sky are now going to have the best defender in the EuroLeague and the best defender in the WNBA, according to awards season. So Chicago Sky are a tough prospect. The other awards were Coach of the Year, which was Roberto Iniguez, I think. He's the coach of Avenida. They've been in the final. They've made it to the Final Four for the first time since 2011. They've gone unbeaten so far. They didn't lose a game in any of the round games earlier. So have you got a prediction for that one, Avenida and Sopron?
Well, since we're in the UK, you can't really say Sopron, can you, with Carly playing? So, no, you can't. It's just not possible.
You've got to do it. Yeah. I think they get to the final. I think it's them against the Katerinburg. And the Young Player of the Year is Ileana Rupert, who plays for Bourges, and she is 19 years old and is making quite an impact already.
And will be in the WNBA in about 4 hours' time.
Will she?
She'll get drafted tonight.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. Will she be a stash pick, do you think? Or is it straight away she's ready?
I think she's going to have to be. Just because there's a lack of roster spots.
Yeah. But it's if she can keep developing as she is, playing in competitions like EuroLeague, then when she's, the slots there, the space is there, to jump into WNBA. We've seen what Julie Ollerman did.
Yep.
And it works. So that was a MVP graphic. Here you go. Young Player of the Year, Ileana Rupert.
That's all you're getting.
So, okay, that's fine. They're the best ones. What have you got some predictions for the final, Darren?
Predictions for the final. So let me tell you about Ekaterinburg and Fenerbahce. Mikey, you're wrong. You're absolutely incorrect. Are Ekaterinburg the heavy favourites? Yes, they are. Who is the best team to take them on? It's Fenerbahce. They got the Satunicorn. That's all that needs to be said. Okay, they've got the league MVP. Let's get that graphic up. They've got the best player in EuroLeague again. 2 years on the bounce. Alina Yagapova with the MVP. They're coming up against a very tough team. They have just decimated Nika in Russia in domestic competition. If there's one team, the unbeaten Fenerbahce are the one team I think this weekend that is
unbeaten. They're not unbeaten.
They're unbeaten in the Turkish league.
Domestically. Are you happy with my correction?
Yeah, they're still 0-1 in their last EuroLeague game.
Okay, that's how numbers work, I guess. I think Fenerbahce have a better chance than what you're giving credit, and at the very least, I think it's going to be a much better game than what you're giving credit for.
But it's on at 2:30 on a Friday.
Where's it being held? I have not checked that.
Elsewhere.
Yeah, actually, I don't know where it is. That's the point. Where is it?
Yeah. Though with a 7:30 tip-off in the other game, then we assume that it's somewhere where it's 2:30 tip-off is still absurd.
It is
somewhere.
Are we all frantically trying to find it?
Are we all randomly typing in where is EuroLeague Women's Final Four?
That's how I live my life.
Istanbul.
Oh God, no. So yeah, then a 2:30 tip-off is not absurd. It's acceptable. We'll allow it.
But
that makes it. Yeah. Which considering, I think that's okay. Because I got to get 2 games played plus the old COVID protocols.
I'd argue you don't need 5 hours between tip times, but
I mean that second game is late. There is your all EuroLeague women's first team, Katie Lou Samuelson. What a star!
Katie Lou Samuelson is going to be my maybe, I don't know, third favourite player next season. Which doesn't sound good, does it? But if anyone else said it, like, she can't be my favourite player because I've got like 10 of them already. So
to be fair.
It's but I've been so impressed watching Lou Samuelson in EuroLeague this year, and I'm super excited to see her on Seattle.
We need to do the old tier list of Caz's favourite players. I think that needs to be done.
My oldest tier.
Ekaterinburg are 10.5 point favourites. There we go.
It's 5 baskets, 6 baskets. See, Satu could just score that in her sleep.
To be fair. No, really excited for that game. I think it's going to be really good. The Sopron game, Avenida. Have they lost a game this year, Avenida?
They have not.
I feel like they lost one domestically.
Oh, so yeah, they're unbeaten in EuroLeague.
They're unbeaten in EuroLeague. I think they lost a close one to Valencia off the top of my head.
Yes. That sounds about right. But by a point, but they beat them by 2 points, so they win the league by a point. That's the one. That's going to be really close. I think that's going to be a lot closer.
That's all I said. I did not say one was going to be a bad game.
Whoa.
It was going to be close.
It's the other way around. I think.
You think this is what? Avenida are going to blow them out? Not
blow them out, but it's going to be their biggest score difference. I've said it.
Caz, you and your take. Cazzy Spice over there up in Manchester.
Sopron lost. They won't have lost domestically. They went undefeated in the group. Oh, they lost the second leg of the quarters, didn't they?
How badly? Oh, hang on, I can check.
They lost it by about 10, but they're up 27.
They lost it by 13, but yeah, they still came out 15 points.
They were
winners.
up like 100. So
yeah, they beat Leon 94-66, so that's pretty good.
I'm imagining they've not lost a domestic game, so they've lost. So you've got a team that's barely lost all season versus a team that's barely lost all season versus a team that's barely lost all season versus a team that doesn't know how to lose.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see how Ekaterinburg come up against a team that don't know how to lose.
So there was a EuroLeague panel put together of Alicia Clark, Paul Nielsen, and Maros Kovilik.
Excuse me, can we give Paul a little bit more gravitas and just slap his name out there?
Sorry, yeah. Paul Nielsen.
Thank you.
Newcastle Eagles assistant coach Paul Nielsen.
Is he actually?
Well, he's certainly on the start. I don't think necessarily he would like to be called coach, but he's definitely on the coaching staff.
One of the absolute main human beings when it comes to women's basketball in this country and indeed the world. I said it and I stand by it. He's great. Like Paul's great. He was great.
You might take that back now when you actually tell you who predicted to win.
No, I've seen it. I don't necessarily agree, though it is hard to argue with.
Everyone picked Ekaterinburg Avenida as the final and Ekaterinburg to win. Which, that's probably
where the smart money would be.
Yeah. But this is why we play the games. It's why they play the games, for Fenerbahce to go off and sneak one. Again, remember, TTT Riga beat Ekaterinburg last season. Stranger things have happened. And Fenerbahce are a far better side than that TTT Riga side was. No disrespect.
1.1 seconds all it takes to flip a game.
That's right. And we've seen that this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have any comment to make on MVP?
It's awesome. Can she please sign with the Sparks?
Why would she do that to herself?
To win more.
Again, she wouldn't be winning more. She'd be winning less.
She'd be winning more because she'd be winning like for 12 months. Now she doesn't win, does she, in the summer? She's probably sat at home going like,
this is nice, isn't it? Got summer off. Recuperate. Literally the best player in Europe. It's pretty fantastic. Any more on the finals? The final is 7 p.m. on Sunday, 18th of April.
Is it that late?
I'm seeing 1900 plus GMT plus 3.
Yeah, GMT. There you go. You just answered your own question. GMT plus 3.
So that makes it 4 p.m.
It's BST though. At the moment.
Oh,
I don't know. Don't talk to me about. I don't know what the clock's.
Everyone listened to Caz, who correctly announced it was at 5 o'clock.
Let's listen to Caz. Why is it GMT +3? What does that even mean? I don't know.
That's Turkish time. That's local.
Not a math podcast. Any more EuroLeague? Oh, Mikey. Let's just Caz, were you gonna say something?
No.
Start line of the week, Mikey.
Oh.
What are you going for? Sorry, Caz, I've stole your thunder. Caz, would you like to say that?
Mikey, Aisha Balarambe in Kosovo, in Kosovo, 44 points on 19 of 20 shooting, 24 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds, 7 assists. Can anything compete with that?
No.
Okay.
Huge news. Oh, go on.
95% is 95%.
It's absurd, isn't it? Have you ever seen anything like that on that level? Because I ain't.
Renee Bush, didn't she go like 8 for 8 from 3 this earlier
Yeah,
this season?
Renee went like 8 of 9 or 9 of 10 from the floor early in the season against Cardiff.
It's not 20 though.
It's not.
It's still very, very good. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. All right, big news. Oh my goodness! Look who's back. Back again. Ashley's back. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell everybody that you know. Ashley Arlen back in the game, back in the habit. Don't call it a comeback. She'll probably elbow you in the face for it because that's what she did to Hannah Shaw the first time they ever trained together. Listen to our podcast. One of our first podcast episodes we ever did over on Focus Hoops. You can find it. We'll link it later on. Awesome. I'm so happy for Ash. Mikey, you have coached. You have had the good fortune to coach Ash in the past. What does this mean for the team that she has signed for in Sweden, who you are going to tell us their name?
Why can't you do it?
Fine, I will. Veta Bigden. What's Sparks?
That's actually spot on.
Nice.
That's a real shame. I thought you were going to butcher it. Damn it.
It's the Sparks, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, the Veta Bigden Sparks. So, Mikey, obviously, I could wax lyrical, but you've coached her. Tell us about Ash.
Let's see what she looks like after 3 years.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, look, there's not enough nice words you can say about Ash as a person. As a basketball player, she's super talented. Probably the best female player I've been able to coach. And she's a great fit for the culture out there. So yeah, it's super exciting. It's a great league. It's going to be a good challenge for her, but I think she will take it in her stride, and I think she will cause some problems.
She was so dominant in the WBBL. My apologies. She was so dominant, like just different level. If you have chance, go and watch the Nottingham game against London. It must have been London Barking Abbey. Played at the Copper Box Arena.
Copper Box on BBC, 5:07 tip, I believe it was.
Something like that. I remember watching that with my dad, and just
of which, but ironically, who was on commentary?
Not me. I don't.
Dan Routledge.
Dan Routledge.
And
Krumesh.
Correct.
Ah, nice. Krumesh, obviously. Krumesh Patel. Have I said his surname correctly?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, Krumesh. Leicester Riders. A bit of a legend with Mikey and Matt Harbour back in the day.
Well, I prefer to say Ash's new coach.
Well, I was about to get to that bit, yes. And Ash's new coach over in Sweden. So very, very exciting times. Good luck, Ash. You're going to smash it. And we'll be rooting for you and checking your box scores. We'll check it in with how you're getting on all throughout the year. Maybe try and get you on the show. It'd be nice to chat to you again. Right. Tonight is the WNBA draft. But before we do that, before we get to the fun business, let's talk about the serious business.
the tier maker jersey list. That's right. We broke it down the other day with Sky Show, and we've got some issues. We have some problems. First off, this White Sparks jersey, way too high, horrific. But some actually bigger issues. Bit of a breaking story right now. You see this Central Dallas Wings jersey? You may never see that on the basketball floor, or indeed in shops anymore. Caz, are you able to very quickly just walk us through what the heck's going on with their Rebel Edition jersey?
Yes, so I don't think we've had like an official statement as far as I can see, but from some of the accounts that are familiar with it on Twitter. So the jersey was designed for it's obviously a military design. I think it is the WASP Air Force Regiment in the States, in America. And obviously, because each jersey has a story behind it and, a piece of women's history and things, it came out that the regiment would have discriminated, wouldn't have hired African-American pilots, wouldn't have recruited, and would have just been a blanket no because of race. So that's obviously an issue. Not what the league wants to represent. Maybe there's not been some perhaps research done earlier enough into what the representation is. It's not what they want it to be. So it sounds like they've pulled it now. Doesn't seem to be on sale anymore. People that have ordered it online have had their orders cancelled and the refund's been given. So
absolute catastrophe mess from start to finish, this jersey, and they're getting rid of it. Good, they made the right decision. Hopefully they replace it with something good. Another jersey getting similar treatment is the Rise jersey, the Rebel Edition by the Mystics. 19th Amendment didn't cover black women, just white women. So similar story to that jersey.
And very important to notice that whilst women have always, been fighting for rights and things, certain women, white women, have got those benefits and privileges before black women as well. And that's something, they clearly are still, it's a generations long fight, isn't it? And in a league where we're celebrating and supporting women, things like that, you want them to get it right.
Yeah, they need to get it right. And it's just not good enough. Okay, that out of the way, the reason Mikey's here, other than to wax lyrical about Ashley Arlen, it's the WNBA draft. It is tonight, 7 Eastern. It commences for 2 hours, a special. And let's have a look at the Her Hoop Stats mock draft. Big shout out to them. They've got Awak Kuya going number 1 overall out of Finland to the Dallas Wings. Renier Davis going number 2 to the Dallas Wings. Charlie Collier, who some people have her going number 1, still going to Atlanta. Ariella Grant going to the Indianapolis Ball Club, whose name has completely gone out of my head.
What you mean,
Indiana Fever? That's right, but where are they based? They're based in Indianapolis, I think. Dana Evans also going to the Wings, and Michaela Onwere going to New York. So that is one mock. Mikey, you've got some things to say about this mock. You're not happy.
I just think you managed to select the only mock that doesn't have Collier going number 1 overall.
I'm just listen, there are a lot of mock boards out there. That's one of them.
8 that I'm aware of, 8 or 9, and I think it's about. There's 2 that don't have her going number 1 overall, and the other one has her going second, still to Dallas.
So is that the new consensus that Collier's? So why is Collier
from day one? It's not a new consensus. It's been a consensus for about 2 months.
Has it? Because I don't. Well, I mean, again,
I don't revel in ignorance. I'm not that kind of person, but I don't follow the college game that much. But I've thought that it was Davis and Courier, like 1 and 2, with Collier always looking at going to Atlanta. But you're telling me that that's not been the case.
Was McDonald not pushed his draft stock that high?
There's a chance.
What, of 1?
I don't think 1, but
No.
I think there's a small chance she goes 2. I don't know if Dallas go with 2 bigs necessarily.
Dallas don't need more guards though.
No, but I also don't know if they need 2 rookie bigs, both of which being raw and projects.
It would be very on brand for Dallas if they did. Also, Dallas traded their 7th pick to the Sparks and a 2nd round pick. Was that next year's 2nd round?
Yeah.
For next year's 1st round for the Sparks.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting very excited about that. I don't know.
It shows the value of WNBA draft picks when to give away number 7, you have to basically move up 5 spots next year, give or take, roughly. And to do that, you have to give up the 7th pick this year.
Here's something that was pointed out earlier. So 50 players around have opted in for the draft. There's 61 players already on protected contracts, and there's 144 players in the league. There's not a lot of draft spots. There's not a lot of spaces for players to make a team. There's going to be players in the 1st round that are cut and don't make a team.
Potentially,
we could be looking at Dallas having one of their multitude 1st rounders not make the team.
Yep.
Theoretically, it's crazy.
Well, no, Dallas has got 4 spots left.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas has got 11 players under contract out of 15. So that's why they needed to ditch 1 pick, because they had 5 of the first 13 and they couldn't fit them all on. So by getting a pick, that kind of gives them the flexibility.
Are they 15-player rosters this year? Because I'm sure last year they were 12.
You're allowed 15 players under contract to go into camp, I believe.
I don't understand why that's so.
15's the number,
but then that gets cut down again, doesn't it? To 12.
12 for the. Yeah, but 15 is the number the max you can have, and like the Mystics already got 15, for example, I believe.
I don't understand why that number is so low. Like 12 to me seems pretty low for what is a very busy regular season after players, a lot of whom have played very busy regular seasons in Europe. It does seem that you're hamstringing some teams, and it was especially stupid in the bubble. Again, I was talking to Bill, interviewing Bill Lambert, and he was like, "Yeah, we had 4 people in practice. I was practicing." It's just, I don't know, just expand the damn league, for crying out loud.
Expand the rosters, then expand the league.
Yeah. So right now, the Washington Mystics obviously do not have a draft pick. They will be very quiet tonight, I expect. And the New York Liberty both have 15 players under contract, which is the maximum.
Because there's a lot of talk about one and dones, but there's no point in us having one and dones when there's no roster spots.
There's nowhere to go to. It's
Agreed.
Although Kathy Engelbert, I think, did a press conference this week, just before the draft, when they announced the schedule, because the schedule's dropped, and she said expansion is definitely something that they are looking at.
I mean, they absolutely have to. Like, there's so many talented players all over the world that there's more than enough to fill another 4 teams. Mm-hmm. Hoops by Huncho. What time is the draft? It's 7 p.m. Eastern time, which makes it, well, I can't tell time.
2.5 hours time.
Midnight.
Midnight. Ooh, get a quick nap in. Can see some of that. Ooh. So
I struggled to find the actual whole thing to watch last year. Like, the only thing I could find to watch back was some highlights. I couldn't find the actual draft. I don't know if we'll have more luck this year.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be on the ESPN player. I don't know. I know some people watching it. Maybe it was on Sky. I don't actually know. So Mikey, who is so you're a big college guy, more so than myself and Caz. Who should we be looking out for? Cheers, Hoops by Honcho. Appreciate it.
Who, by the way, is the commentator at Essex Rebels or part of the Essex Rebels commentary crew.
Wonderful.
I enjoyed this.
Very, very nice guy. I've obviously met him a few times at the arena pre-COVID. So, yeah, it's nice to have him with us.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
So, I think
like, share, subscribe.
I think McDonald is going to be maybe the talking point of the draft of how high she goes. I think going into maybe the college tournament, she was probably a low-end first-round pick. If she isn't picked in the top 5, I will be surprised.
Really?
I think that there's an argument she'd go anywhere from 2 to 5, and I think there's you could see on any of those teams in the right situation. I think less so Atlanta, but so maybe they're the one team. But I could see Dallas thinking that there's a big that they like that's going to fall to 5, and take McDonald early and come back at 5 and get someone they like. I can see it. I don't think that's what will happen, but it's certainly something I would be looking at. I think maybe the best player in the entire draft class is Ariella Grant out of Rutgers. I think she may be the most complete player, and probably without knowing where she ends up exactly, I think if I had to put money right now on a rookie of the year, I think it would be her.
Ooh. Get excited, Fever fans, maybe.
And then the question is where some of the big slot in, because I think a lot of teams are going to be looking at adding some rebounding, some size. So obviously the likes of Natasha Mack out of Oklahoma State, Jasmine Walker from Alabama. It's how big teams decide to match up, because we saw the problems in the bubble, especially with Vegas, for example, being so big that a lot of teams couldn't match that. So obviously to win a championship, you're going to have to go through probably right now Seattle and Vegas again. So do teams try and match up with a little bit of size this year? And that's where you could kind of see someone like Rupert going. She may have value as a late first round pick potentially.
Interesting. What I want to know, how excited should I be for the Dallas Wings this coming season?
Not as excited as the Chicago Skynet Hunter-Pants.
Yeah, no, I think it's I think for to be stacked in a draft class, I honestly don't think this is the one. I think this is at the top end one of the weaker draft classes we've had in recent years.
Yeah, I've heard that next year. Apparently, next year is supposed to be a lot stronger.
Which won't be as strong as the year after that, because the year after that you'll have Caitlin Clark and Paige Buckers come out, and you might as well all but lock them into number 1 and 2 right now.
Mr. ESPN over here. God, change the record about Paige. Was a lot of what the internet was saying this summer, or this March, rather.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and it's what teams value. Do they, because they've not got many roster spots to fill? I kind of wonder if this draft's going to be different, and we may see some surprises because teams go purely on need.
So I was going to say, with it being so tight, do teams look at picking up a project as somebody to, over the next few years, or do they just fill a spot now?
It's so difficult with the WNBA, isn't it? There's not really many players that you can't really stash anyone. You've kind of almost got to cut them. So it makes projects less tempting. Now, maybe this is where the international scene comes in this year. Do we see a couple of players that teams are communicated with that the players are going to opt out, therefore the team retain their rights? So do we see someone like maybe Rupert to a degree? Would she opt out and focus on the Olympics, for example?
I don't know.
Because you've got, but you've got players like Emma Miesemann and Julie Allman and
Alicia Clark's out for the season injured.
Yeah. Players that may not, like, because Belgium are in Eurobasket, aren't they? And they've got the Olympics, so maybe players may come over later. So you might have that opportunity earlier in the season.
Yeah. So, but it'll be interesting to see how it balances. I think the one guarantee is Chicago Sky want a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's every team knows. And Caz, I'll ask you this from a Sparks perspective. Is part of the reason Sparks went for 7 is, do they think they want a point guard to replace Chelsea Gray? And therefore they jumped above Chicago to get it?
You could. I mean,
that's still got 10 or 11. Is it 10 or 11? I forget.
10.
10. Knowing 10, you can still probably get the player you were targeting.
Yeah. It's a good theory. I like it. And they've got Erica Wheeler and Christy Tolliver, but they're probably wanting someone out, a point guard that they're going to build around for the future. So I like that they've swooped in to try and like get one before Chicago.
Yeah, and that's I honestly, I was, before last night broke, or I actually found out this morning when it happened. I was already like, I wonder if that's the spot where teams target with Dallas at 7 to jump above, because Chicago have made it clear they're taking a point guard. James Wade basically might as well have come out and said, we are taking a point guard, because he basically did everything but say that.
Yeah.
So who's the best point guard in the draft for you from what you've seen?
I think McDonald probably takes. I think McDonald and Evans are probably both going to be off the board by 7. There's a chance one of them falls to 7. That's Dana Evans of Louisville.
Really?
But I think they could both go. And then the next point guard probably is Kiana Williams of Stanford.
Now, with McDonald, who had a great March tournament, is there a risk that, and I'm sorry to bring it to football, but we think about, players that we see at Euros and World Cup who have a great tournament, get signed, and then she's a sure thing. Yeah,
she was a first round pick going in. It's not like her stock has risen sensationally
that much. Yeah,
and the other thing you've got with McDonald is she's a hell of a defender. It's not just the points that you saw in the tournament necessarily. Her defense was exceptional. She was co-Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year along with Anna Wilson. And that's something that got lost. So you've got a legitimate two-way guard.
Okay.
People's worry seems to be her height, but I think
that's
the field. Yeah, that seems to be just the comments that you see the size of her, but it doesn't mean. Yeah.
That's done. I do think, like, at that level, like, if you're that good, you'll be fine. As a point guard, you should be fine. Are we going to see a Rookie of the Year out of the second round or third round? Imagine this year.
No one from a third round's got a chance of making it, have they? Not.
Well, I was going to say, my question is how many second round picks?
Unlikely. I mean, yeah, unlikely. But what if? Oh my goodness, the Chicago Sky's 16th overall pick from Dallas via 3 trades. Sorry. I mean, somebody gets drafted with that 36 spot on the Aces, absolutely busts their chops over makes the roster.
Just no.
That's why we need expansion.
I'm rooting for a dream scenario. I mean, that's why I don't get super excited about drafts except for the Luka Doncic draft, because it's Luka Doncic. He was so good. But yeah, I don't know. It's just frustrating that there are 36 players going to get picked, and how many of them are going to be playing
probably
in the WNBA this year?
20 to 25 and will be out of a job within 4 weeks.
It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Too harsh a word.
Yeah,
it's just stupid. It's stupid.
I mean, it's the same every year. We often don't see second round picks make the roster, but I think this year, obviously, the other thing is that teams have decided to spend a lot, and some of them won't carry an active 12 to fit under the salary cap. They'll only be able to carry 11 players. Which again takes away, even like when you only got 144 players, now 4 teams have opted to carry 11 player rosters because of the salary cap.
That's even shorter.
Now you've got 140. So
That's wild to me.
3% of possible players in the whole league.
That is wild to me.
It's the toughest pro league to get into. Like, there's isn't another one that's got the least amount of roster spots. A lot of people wanting to get into it. It's so hard to make it.
Yeah,
agreed.
It's I think it's a shame. I think it's a real big shame. It's America. We can talk about it another time. But the fact that March Madness, this whole thing about the next generation college draft, cut a lot of people out of jobs. If you're drafted to the WNBA, you're probably going to have a very good career in Europe if you want it, around the world, and you may get yourself back into the WNBA down the journey. But I don't know. This league needs to expand. Mm-hmm. The talent is by far there. It's a short summer series. What, three months? Somebody can surely dip their hand in their pocket for a big market, or even a small market. I don't know.
The issue is then the whole how do you expand is a question, but that's for a different day.
That is for a different day. Michael Hunter Morris, we're gonna let you go because I think we've tackled the great and the good in basketball today. Mikey, is there any more that needs to be said about anything in the world of women's basketball today?
Title decided next Wednesday. Surrey Sports Park. Join me on commentary. Thank you.
We can't, Mikey. We're at work.
Oh yeah, Mikey. We have
That's
jobs.
Unfortunate.
Can you do something about it? Can you just? Why don't you hide the ball or something for a few hours?
Yeah, good idea.
Because I'm not allowed to touch it because it's COVID.
No one will know.
Nobody will know. We're fine. Just get a big stick and hide it under the scorer's table. They'll never know.
Right. Just to like 4, half 4.
Like 4:15 because I'm on a train around then, so that'd be perfect.
Oh.
I'll make it my game of the week.
All right.
Name a better game.
One that's not on at 2 in the afternoon on a Wednesday.
This was Caz's game of the week.
I do think he's impressed.
He's not impressed. He looks, dare I say.
I can't be promoting a game that's on at 2:30 on a Wednesday when people can't watch it.
That's the face of a man who's not impressed. All right. That's going to do it. Mikey, where can people find you?
There.
On the screen. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Kazi B.
Yes.
Tell the people where they can see you.
You can see me here right now, and you can hear me on the Manchester Mystics broadcast. And make sure to vote for your Mystics end of season awards. Who's your MVP? Who's your Defensive Player of the Year? Who's had the best debut season? The link is in the comments somewhere. Go and vote.
Absolutely. Make sure. Oh, that's not. Hi there, Darren Paul. Professional. Yeah, you can find me at Wade's Touch. There's more going on there at the moment. It's big wrestling news just broke, which I've been retweeting. So yeah, follow me on that. But of course, the main event, Focus Hoops, at Focus Hoops on Twitter. Make sure that you're following that and sharing all of our stuff and liking all our stuff and liking all the stuff that we retweet. It's all good stuff. BBL, loads of commentary, loads of opportunity to hear me and Nigel Lloyd just going mad over some beautiful basketball. We've got 3 Lions games, got 1 tomorrow, 1 Sunday, and then the big one against Leicester Riders. Will it be a league decider? Maybe, maybe not. On Wednesday. Check it out, BBL player. I don't know what he's saying. Mikey's chatting on. But that's going to do it for us. Huge thank you, Michael, for joining us. Caz, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Everybody in the comments, huge thanks to you checking us out. We'll be back on Thursday to break down EuroLeague women, the WNBA draft, and much, much more. We'll see you next time.